Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you're here. I have a super delicious and easy roasted chicken recipe for you. It's one of those dishes that you will just love, and I'm sure you'll be adding to your weekly dinner rotation. It makes for great leftovers. The juices that are, if there are any leftover, are really good to use if you're going to be making a rice or to be topped up on another kind of carb. It's an overall easy, delicious recipe, and the ingredients are super simple. It just 3 ingredients. Essentially, you need your chicken, of course, coarse salt, olive oil, and a mixture of herbs that's called herbe de Provence, or as the French would say, herbe de Provence. And it's a mixture of herbs that you would find in southern France. So this one here that I have has savory, oregano, rosemary, and thyme in it. I like to add a little bit of fennel seeds and a little bit of lavender flowers if you can find that. I really do feel like especially the fennel seeds add a nice different taste to it that really enhances the flavor of this chicken. So that's why it's only 3 ingredients essentially, because I'm counting the mixture of herbs as 1 ingredient. So coarse salt, olive oil, and the herbe de Provence. Step 1 is to pat down your chicken so you can remove any excess moisture. So just go ahead and pat the whole chicken down. And then you are essentially going to go underneath the skin and just kind of separate the skin from the flesh, just gently, so you don't poke holes through the skin. But this will allow us to add our mixture of herbs and the olive oil underneath the skin, and that will really allow for the flavors to go into the flesh. You can also turn around and do the same thing for the thighs. So there's like a bit of an opening here. You can kind of, as far as your finger can go, so you're not really tearing the skin, you're not causing any damage to the skin. You're just kind of making a little bit of a cavity inside. I'm gonna wash my hands, and then I'm gonna show you how I mix the salt with the herbs, and we're gonna come back and put everything on the chicken. I'm going to mix 1 to 2 tablespoons of the coarse salt. I think this is part of the magic of this recipe, is the coarse salt. So about 2 tablespoons. And then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of this herb mix. So you can see there are the fennel seeds, some of the lavender, and with the oregano and the other herbs. So I'm just gonna mix it, put it into this little bowl and mix everything together. So when I'm spreading it on the chicken, it's nice and even. And then take your chicken, and I like to drizzle olive oil on it. I don't really measure when it comes to making this chicken. That's why my ingredients are kind of estimated, but I would say for the chicken about 1/8 of a cup to 1/4 cup of olive oil. So just put that on there. And then you can start sprinkling the herb and salt mixture on top. So just do a little bit at a time. I'm gonna take my rings off for this because my hands are gonna get dirty. I just like to rub the olive oil all over. And then I like to add a little bit more of the seasoning and put that underneath the skin as well. And just make sure the flavor is all over. So I'm just gonna continue rubbing the whole chicken and getting underneath the skin wherever I can. And that will add a lot of flavor as well. This works if you're tight on time and you just have a chicken in the fridge and you wanna cook it right away. So you could just literally bring it to room temperature. You wanna bring it to room temperature because it'll help it cook evenly. It'll make it cook faster, and you'll have a better tasting end result. Again, if you're tight on time, you don't have to, you can only do what you can do. So ideally, you could leave this for a few hours for the salt to allow the moisture to be drawn out of the chicken and to have crispier skin. But again, you don't have to, it's just one of those things that helps add flavor to the chicken. So if you're in a bind, you can just quickly put the marinade on, put the olive oil on, and throw it into the oven, and you will still have something that's really yummy. But if you want to maximize the flavor, then you would do it ahead of time and let it sit a little bit. With this recipe, I would say you're better off to have a saltier chicken than not. I think that's where a lot of the flavor comes through. The salt really enhances the herbs and really makes the flavor shine. So if you're gonna be erring on less salty or more salty, I would recommend going saltier with this one. Now that the bird is marinated, I will go ahead and tuck, if you can, if they'll stay there, kind of tuck away. I'm gonna go ahead and tuck away the wings in the back, so it's kind of lounging back and relaxing. You could also leave the chicken as is, but I like to tie the legs together. That way it kind of seals shut the cavity that's underneath the chicken breast, or sort of like inside the chicken, and this kind of seals it in and prevents the chicken breast from drying out. So super simple. I have a little bit of chicken twine here. Sorry, kitchen twine. So I have a little bit of kitchen twine, not chicken twine. And then I kind of just do a bit of a loop on one leg and then connect it to the other one. There's really no right way to do it that I know of. If you could just get them together as tightly as possible, and then we will cut this off afterwards at the end. If you don't have kitchen twine, make sure you check on your chicken maybe 10 to 15 minutes earlier, because it might dry out your chicken a little bit if you don't have it. So it's not a big deal, just check on your chicken a little bit earlier. I'm gonna go wash my hands and let you know about step 2. So our chicken is ready. I have the oven preheating on convection at 425. Every oven is different, so between 400 and 425. I like to do on convection just because it speeds up the process and it circulates the air, helps the skin to crisp up and for everything to cook up a little bit more evenly. I like to do this in a cast iron pan, but if you don't have one, or if you're using it for something else, you can also use a roasting pan. That also works great, no problem. Just the cast iron will make it cook a little bit more evenly, and I like the juice to be collected, and then I can just pour it on top of the chicken. So I'm going to put this in the oven for about 15 minutes to an hour, depending on the size of your chicken and how hot your oven is. Just make sure the internal temperature when you enter a thermometer at the breast, it is 160 to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. It will continue to cook once you take it out. So if you're at that temperature, you should be safe and it should be cooked perfectly. My chicken is now in the oven. I've set my timer for 50 minutes. I will start checking to see if it's done at that point. You can also tell if it's done by the color of the skin. You'll see it becomes a nice golden brown, and that usually indicates that the chicken is more or less ready to go. But if you want to be extra sure, then you're just going to use a thermometer. So at the 50-minute mark, I'm going to start checking the chicken just to make sure it's not overcooking. So you can see how crispy the skin is, and it's nice and golden. The important thing is to just make sure you're not cutting into it right away, because then you're just gonna lose all that moisture. It's just gonna drip out, and then you're gonna be left with a dry chicken. I usually like to cover the chicken while I let it sit. That way it stays warm. The skin doesn't stay as crispy, but it helps the juices kind of lock in, and it keeps the chicken a little bit more warm versus just letting it sit on the counter uncovered. So that's completely up to you. What I like to do personally is just cover it. So you want to let it sit for at least 10 minutes. You can leave it to sit even longer. I've left it for like even an hour or two if I know that I'm going to be having dinner later on. It's absolutely fine. It just won't be piping hot, but the juices at least will be in the chicken, and you'll be having a delicious piece of chicken. As you're making this chicken, the house smells absolutely amazing. So you're gonna love the smell of it, the taste of it once you get to taste it. And I'll come back in a few minutes to show you guys how I carve the chicken once it's ready to go. It's actually been an hour since I last spoke to you guys. The kids got home from school and then we got into doing homework and stuff, so I didn't get a chance to carve the chicken, which is fine because now it's cooled down a little bit and then it's a little bit easier to handle, and all the juices are reabsorbed. I'm just gonna transfer it to a cutting board, and then I like to cut off the string first. I'm gonna put that aside. I wish you guys could smell how amazing this smells, but anyways. So we're just gonna go ahead. I like to cut the legs first, so you're just gonna cut to the side of the breast and then kind of just find the joint that's there. Kind of just cut the tail off. And then you can move it around and kind of find where it connects to the spine. And kind of just cut through that. And you're left with this. And then I like to just add it back into the cast iron pan where we baked it. And that way we can use those juices and pour it over the chicken at the end when we're eating it. So I'm just gonna do the same thing here. I'm just gonna cut it. I'm just trying to see. Just like that. Cut it off the spine. Here's the second leg. And then for the breast, you can, it's your choice if you want to take the wings apart from the breast, but I just kind of leave it as is, as one piece. So you're just gonna go down the middle and you're gonna hit the breastbone. You can go down and just cut through it. Make sure you have a really sharp knife. So some people use kitchen shears. Oh, let's see. So there you go. You might need a little bit of force. And then you have the breastbone that's right here. I like to take it off, and that way when you're eating it, it's nice and enjoyable. You're not carving as you're eating. So I kind of go in between the bone here and separate it and just take that apart. What's going to be left on the bones, there's not much meat there, but there's still so much flavor. So make sure you keep those bones. I like to put them in a Ziploc bag and put them in the freezer and make bone broth with this. The flavor is just phenomenal, and then you're not wasting anything. So here is the one other half of the breast, and that's good to go. I'm gonna put that in the pan as well. And then the other side just comes off. Literally, it's so easy. So this part can get a little bit messy as you take off the bones, but then when you're sitting down to eat it, then you can just really enjoy it. It just smells amazing. I wish you guys can smell it. And you see it's been sitting for an hour and it's perfectly cooked. It's nice and moist. I'm just gonna cut it down the middle so you guys can see. Perfectly moist. It's not dried out. It's perfectly cooked. And just because we let it rest for at least 10 minutes, and so that's that. This is the final result. You have moist chicken, and don't discard the juice or the sauce or the oil that's at the bottom here. There's so much flavor in that. You can use it to drizzle over the chicken, or if you want to reserve it and put it in a boiling pot with some water to make some rice out of this. The rice is going to taste absolutely amazing. There you have it, guys. That's how easy it is to make the most delicious and moist roast chicken that you will ever have. I really truly believe that for the simple ingredients and the simple process that's involved in making this chicken, I really think it's the best chicken you're gonna have. I really hope you give it a try. And if you do, please leave a comment down below. And if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe. I would love for you to join our little community here. I'll also leave a link to another chicken that I've made in the past that's also really delicious. It's more of a flattened or a spatchcock chicken. That one has a blackened seasoning on it, and that one is super delicious as well. So I'll just leave that with you guys there, and I'll see you guys next time.